Beautiful Monday morning, the 7th day of the month of May 2018. How wonderful to come your way again with the program that comes to inform, entertain, and educate you. Good morning, Abia. Ojoba is my name. Welcoming you to this very program. On a special day like this, the Monday morning, I tell us, is usually a very beautiful one for me because after the weekend rest, always in the high spirit. High spirit, well, not just to sit here, but also to go out and know what is happening around town. Stella Wandu is with me in the studio, and together we're going to do it. Stella, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Oji. Good morning. And good morning, Abians. Thanks for joining us on today's program. I am Stella Wandu.
All right, the way we do it every morning is to first visit the words on marble, to learn certain things about life and be able to move on as a people. So I want us to look at the words of marble this morning, and it says the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it, well, you just have to keep looking. You don't have to settle. Well, it means you don't just have to say, okay, because there's nothing else, I can't find what I actually love to do. Let me do that is available. Of course, you're not going to have that job satisfaction, and you will be able to put in your best.
Yeah, and to add to what you just said, you need to have passion for whatever you do, okay? And having passion means that you will excel in that thing you're doing. And that is actually what the Western Bible is saying. And if you think you've not gotten what you are looking for, the Western Bible is telling you this morning that you don't need to settle. You need to keep looking for something to do. And whichever one you found to do, there is need for you to do it with passion. Yeah,
to be happy about that. Mm-hmm. That's what you call job satisfaction.
Yeah.
If it's not there, it's not there. It comes from the inside.
Comes from the inside.
And you know what happens with what comes from the inside. Once the inside is not settled, you're not going to have it. You don't fabricate it.
Yeah.
You don't fake it. It's actually you. That is where the you comes in. When you're doing a thing and you see that thing is not giving you that joy, it's not about money. It's not just about the money. Some people will say, well, money is more than that satisfaction. You may be having that, you may have that money, but as long as that thing that moves you on is not the way it ought to be, I mean, you're not going to get it right.
Okay, that is actually what we need to tell our viewer this morning, that they need to have passion for whatever they do to achieve real success. And if you think you've not gotten satisfaction, please keep doing it, and of course don't settle. That is actually coming from every one of us.
You just have to keep searching. You search for it and you'll be able to get it. All right, it's over to you, Stella, to give us the morning news.
And coming to the news making around the world, the presidency on Sunday said President Muhammad Buhari will not hesitate to sack any government official found culpable in any corrupt practices. The senior special assistant to the vice president of media and publicity, Mr. Laola Kande, disclosed this in a statement. Laola said Buhari will sack government officials same way he did former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and the former Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ayo Oke. He said that the present administration was aware of attempts to raise unsubstantiated claims about the government. He said, and I quote, "What Nigerians know is that this administration has shown itself clearly to be above board and has ensured no sacred cows at all where evidence have been tabled." He gave the instance of the president who did not spare the former secretary to the government of the Federation when the case was established, and an EFCC investigation is ongoing. The World Health Organization, WHO, has said that reduction in the spread of Lassa fever has reduced the risk posed to investors. According to the latest official WHO data, the spread of the recent Lassa fever outbreak in Nigeria has shown, and as a result, the number of confirmed cases has risen much more slowly in recent weeks, reducing the risk posed to investors in the World Bank's pandemic swaps and catastrophe bonds. According to WHO, Lassa fever is one of the pandemic risks covered under the terms of the Class B tranches of pandemic swabs and CAT bonds issued under the BEF transaction by the World Bank's International Bank for Reconstruction and Development (IBRD) last year. It will be recalled that Lassa fever outbreak in Nigeria was confirmed by the World Bank as an eligible event under the terms of the Class B pandemic swaps and pandemic catastrophe bond. What that has been issued to support the financing of the Pandemic Emergency Financing Facility (BEF). Then, at the end of March, the number of Lassa fever confirmed deaths was seen to increase, raising the risk to the pandemic bonds and swabs. The WHO reports that the rate of confirmed cases and deaths has declined significantly in recent weeks. The number of suspected cases rose to 1,495 and suspected deaths to 119, while the number of confirmed is now put at 95 deaths out of 376 confirmed cases. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has sent letters of warning to all political parties, asking them to stop campaigns. The warning was equal to activities of majority of the political parties which were considered to be against the provisions of the law on the electioneering. The Commission had released the timetable and schedule of the 2019 general elections in January, when it said that campaigns must not commence before December, which is 3 months to the commencement of the elections. However, majority of the political parties ignored the timetable and flooded the political space with campaigns. The electoral body was said to have expressed worry and therefore asked East State resident electoral commissioners to call the attention of the political parties in their states to the provisions of the law guiding electoral activities. The REC Sadiq Buba Musa asked the political parties to desist from early campaigns. While warning them to desist from further violation of the law, he warned that the Commission will punish any political parties that ignored his warning. The 5th of May is observed annually as International Day of Midwives. It is a day set aside by the International Confederation of Midwives to recognize and honor midwives all over the world. Global reports the talking point of the 2018 edition of the International Day of Midwives is Midwives Leading the Way to Quality Care. The report.
According to the International Confederation of Midwives, a midwife is a person that has successfully completed a midwifery education program that is duly recognized in the country where it is located. In the healthcare system, a midwife is a professional that works in partnership with women to give the necessary support, care, and advice during pregnancy, labor, and immediately after birth. More importantly, the midwife is saddled with the duty of conducting births and providing care for the newborn. The care includes preventive measures, promotion of normal births, early detection of complications in mother and child, and carrying out emergency measures in the absence of medical help. The job description of the midwives include antenatal education, preparation for parenthood, and it may extend to women's health, sexual or reproductive health, and child care. The taking point of 2018 edition is Midwives Leading the Way with Quality Care. The team highlights the vital role played by this group of health care providers in ensuring women and their newborns navigate pregnancy and childbirth safely. Midwives around the world work hard every day to ensure mothers and their families receive the quality care that they deserve. The day provides an opportunity for midwives to think about others in the healthcare profession, to make new contacts within and outside midwifery, and widen the knowledge of what midwives do for the world. Ezemba Kolastika is a midwife. She speaks on the invaluable roles of midwives.
I'm so happy to see us celebrating our day. It's a very great day and big day for us because as midwives, we bring people inside this world. The babies we deliver without any problem to the mother, without any problem to the baby. It's a great joy for us, because the pregnant women, we advise them to come and be delivered by a trained midwife that will handle their case, deliver their babies, and they themselves will be okay. There will be no problem. If any problem arises, as a midwife trained, you know how to tackle them. As you anticipate the new coming of a human being, that's that baby. The mother will be having the pains to deliver, but he will be there encouraging the mother, assuring her that soonest she will have her baby, and all the pains will go away, and then the joy will be hers and ours.
Midwives should be celebrated because they are important to the society in terms of bringing a baby to the world. They attend to women from pregnancy to labor. So I think it's a very unique thing. Bringing a live baby into this world is a very unique thing, because most population we have today are full of newborn babies, and it's the work of the midwife to know how to take care of a pregnant woman from delivery to labor. She advised upcoming midwives to be patient and embrace their job with love.
I advise them to be up and doing. What they learn in school, let them try to put it into practice. That will help them to go a long way as to ensure healthy mother and healthy baby at the end of the pregnancy. My
advice to my fellow midwives is to be patient with the pregnant women, because most of them can be very, very aggressive, especially during labor. At the same time, to show love to them and to do their work with love and passion. Gloria Opera, MCO News.
Welcome back. Though very small when compared to other bridges across the country, the story behind the popular Omenoko Bridge is a very tragic one that has lingered for decades. For this reason, many who have read about the bridge often wonder what it looks like. Emmanuel wants to pay a visit to the community where the bridge is located. Third point.
Located in the serene community of Ozuabam in Arochukwu local government area of Abia State, the bridge with the river flowing under it was known as Igwu River Bridge. The bridge and the river continued to bear the name until something that would change its name for a longer time happened. Today, it is popularly known as Omenoko Bridge. Though many stories have been told about the bridge, not many, however, know of the story behind this historic bridge. This time, the storyteller is Ezogo Emmanuel Obuka Ebebe, the paramount ruler of Ozuabam. He begins from where the river flowed.
Sia pota bend akụ bend potazie Abam n'Abama ọ gafere ebe a na-akpọ ndị ebe gafekwa oke ndị ebe ha na ndị umuhu Abam burutaziri Ozuabam ebe ya gafekwa Ozuabam amụ ebe a na-akpọ ọnụ asụ ya ruba na-akpọ ndị ebelago si na ndị ebelago gafe ruo ebe anyị na-akpọ ebe Dan Ogbuagụ ya si ebe ahụ ruo Atanabam ebe ọ dịzị Mbara gafekwa Idima Abam gawazie Itu dị na steeti Akwa Ibom.
On what brought about the new name, here is what the monarch says.
Igbo Omenoko Bridge. Ebe ni ekwe Omenoko bridge ahụ bụ mgbe mbụ ndị ọcha abịabeghị. Omenoko bụ onye Arochukwu. Ana ebe a ka ọ na-esi agafe aga ahịa onye ahịa. Then ọ na mgbe ahụ arụbeghị ya, ọ bụ n'akwa mmiri eji osisi na-arụ. Ozi ebe ọ na-aga ahịa bụ mgbe briji ahụ dara. Otu n'ime ụmụ ahịa ya mụọ na mmiri ahụ bụ n'igwu meziri. Omenoko bụ onye ama aha ya mgbe ahụ mere eji ekpozie ya akwa mmiri Omenoko.
Built in the 1950s following that tragic incident, the bridge obviously served the problem of providing safe passage, particularly at the time when there was limited number of vehicles. But that is no longer the story today. It experiences much vehicular traffic on a daily basis and can only accommodate one at a time. Not only that, it poses a danger particularly to motorists not familiar with the terrain, as both sides of the bridge are without safety railings. Though still strong, it is needless to say that the modification and expansion of the Omenoko Bridge is long overdue.
Ụgbọala abụọ anaghị agafete na bridge ahụ. Mmadụ nọrọ n'elu ya, ụgbọala abịawa, ozi mmaba na mmiri. Anyị na-eti mkpu kamgbe mgbe ahụ ebidobeghị, ha Naịjirịa na Biafra ebidobeghị. Anyị na-etizi mkpu ka abịa mee bridge a ka ọ dịtụ ọsa mbara.
Ozuabam is rich in agriculture and can only contribute effectively to the economy of the state when this wish is granted. Emmanuel Wazwe, MCL News.
The Sports Community Development Service of National Youth Service Corps in Abia State has intensified preparation for its forthcoming games. Chus Ike reports that the State Sports Community Development Service still has the zonal qualifiers to surmount. The report.
The National Youth Service Corps was set up by the then military regime of retired General Bekubu Gowon to involve the country's graduates in the development of the country. Corps members are posted outside the state of origin. During the mandatory one-year service, the youth are expected to mix with people of other tribes, social and family backgrounds. This program is aimed at fostering unity in the country after the Civil War. It is in the light of this noble idea that the management of the Corps instituted the Youth Service Games. President of the Umuahia North Sports CDS, Benedict Simere, explains the essence of the games and the level of preparation for the zonal qualifiers.
But right now we are actually preparing for a competition, that's the NYC Games, the zonal elimination round. It will be going up in our Ogun State. So we will be representing the state in football, volleyball and athletics. The football is strictly for the male, the volleyball is for the female, while the athletics is for both male and female. The championship is trying to unify core members all over the country together. It's trying to make sure that we know each other, using sport as a unifying tool. It's also a means of developing or knowing new talents in different sporting activities areas. The
state will be competing in 3 events, namely football, volleyball and athletics. Captain of the volleyball team, Nkem Asai, assures Abians and fellow corps members that the team will return with laurels.
But for the players, they are doing very well. And for the NYSC and the Abia State, we are telling them that they should count on us. We've heard the stories of the past corps members that they've not brought any trophy yet back to Abia State. But our team, we are trying very much as possible to put a change to the competition, to make sure that at the end of the day, and by the grace of God, we'll bring out something very special to Abia State and to NYXC.
In his response, the captain of the football team appealed for sponsorship. He said corporate organizations and private individuals could come to the rescue of the team to enable them to participate in the games.
Well, we are preparing for the NYSC Championship, which is going to involve football. We are preparing so well, and we are still soliciting and seeking for funds and how we can raise funds and prepare well for these competitions. We have a lot of things we are putting up together, and that you can see we are still in the meeting. We are trying to put heads together and see if we can come up with ideas from individuals in the house.
It will be recalled that the Abia State CDS has never qualified from the zone since the inception of the Youth Service Games. The question is, will this generation break the jinx? Chooks, AK, MCL News.
And with that, we've come to the end of the news segment. It's still Good Morning Abia, the one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for the newspaper review. Please stay with us.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
It is so busy quick.
What did they happen?
Yeah, now it's on the Facebook.
Time to rebuild Abia. I urge you to set aside our differences so that together we can join hands and build the Abia of our dreams. Remember that my word is my bond.
Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away.
Of a mother of faith. The entire family of late Prince Williams Okore Eze of Ndioyukwu Ekwa Amokwe Itemben local government area, Abia State, announced the exit of a beloved wife, mother, grandmother, auntie, and sister, late Princess Naya Williams Okore Eze, aged 70 years. Burial arrangements. Friday, 11th May 2018, 12 noon. Body leaves Allied Medical Services Aba for brief stopover at AIW Hall, 102 St. Michael's Road, Aba. 1 p.m. Body leaves to her hometown at Tanko Amokwe Idem. 7 p.m. Services of songs by the Wesley Methodist Church. 9 p.m. Christian Wakey. Saturday, 12th May 2018, 11 a.m. Open air service by the Methodist Church Nigeria at ABG Ote Mini Stadium at Tanko Amokwe Idem. 1 p.m. interment. Sunday, 13th May 2018, 9 a.m. Thanksgiving at the Wesley Methodist Church, Amokwe Idem. Signed, Prince Harrison Eze Okori, for the family.
I'll fly away.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Welcome back. It's time for us to take a look at the papers this morning. We are starting with the Daily Sun as usual. Wike urges security agencies to take jobs seriously. Stories on page 39. Wike urges security agencies to take jobs seriously. Bloodbath in Kaduna, 45 killed. Stories on page 4. Of course, the other story is the story of Akin Fakorede as INEC election report in Rivers State. A whole lot of them. Page 66 of INEC report into Rivers rerun elections unveils this man as follows. When you pick a copy of the Daily Sun, you'll be able to read up all that you need to read up about the picture element you have before us here, covering the front page of this Daily Sun. Alright, we'll go to the back page of the paper and be able to see this story on page 47 by Kashmir Ibokwe, marching to 2019 with weapon of great destruction. Marching to 2019 with weapon of great destruction. On page 6, Wike receives Sports Award in Brussels, May 9. Going down, we meet Public Forum Paul Anaya. Conspiracy of silence in midst of killings. Conspiracy of silence in midst of killings. Rather, we have the face of the president here, and there's no cover out of this very story, so you need to pick a copy of the Daily Sun and go through this paper. Public Forum, conspiracy of silence in midst of killings.
All right, I'm coming to the Nation newspaper this morning. At the top left of the Nation newspaper, APC Congresses, Okorocha slams chair, shooting in Oka, Abia others lose out. Go to page pages 8 and 38. I get the details of that. And yet this agri development gets pass mark. It's found on page 12 of the Nation newspaper. Bandit kills 45 in Kaduna State. The sad story is found on page 6 of the Nation. Brown Health Iwobi show against Burnley. Go to page 10 and get the details of that. Moving down, industrialization, Bayelsa, Houston to collaborate. Go to page 40 and get the details of that. The boldly written headline that says EFCC takes battle for 61S Bank CEO's assets to UK. The story completed on page 6. Moving down, INEC election report, the story of Akin Fakorode, of course, in Rivers State. You need to read up what is on, of course, you see the picture element of Akin and know what that is actually talking about. Beneath that, the same police officer is at it again, allegedly plotting, recruiting, training, and arming a special court to rig the 2019 elections in Rivers State through violent means. Still talking about Mr. Kemo. The picture element is also here. Now we move straight up to the back page of the Nation newspaper. Coming from Sam Omaseye in Touch, it says, Boy wonder, the boys were innocent. The register was and is also innocent to all intents and purposes. But here is the irony: when the innocent boy interferes with the innocent document, we have corruption. So innocent plus innocent equals rigging. That's actually what that icon, what is coming out from that headline. Boy wonder. You can also see the picture element of INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu. Now moving down on hardball, dancing is not thinking. Dancing is not thinking is what hardball has for us, and of course you need to read more on that. Coming to the ripples, 70% of Nigerians have access to water, says the federal government, and the respondent said yes, of course, rainwater. Actually trying to make mockery of the statement by the federal government that 70% of Nigerians have access to water, and that is it with the Nation newspaper this morning, OJ. All right,
the last but not the least is the New Telegraph. Banks are cheating us through ATMs. Customers cry out. Banks are cheating us through ATMs. Customers cry out. PDP to Buhari, your second term will be disastrous. Stories on page 10. PENCOM approves 531.88 billion naira for retirees. Find the story on page 24. Stop scandalizing me, over 200 million naira. Second dose tells EFCC. Find it on page 6. Again, gunmen killed 51 South villages in Kaduna. Read up on page 8. APC crisis worsens. Party members burn local government secretariat. Parallel congresses in states and Okorocha battles for survival in Imo. Amechi senator at loggerheads. APC to agreed members seek redress through appeal panels. Stories on page 4 and 7. And in Ekiti, Buhari's minister advisors fight over aborted Guba primaries. Fayemi, Ojodu's conduct falls short of minimum standard. Then Ojodu responded, but you compromise committee bought over security. The picture elements here. Ninji local government secretary set ablaze by supporters of all progressive Congress APC in Bauchi State at the weekend. Leadership crisis rocks Code of Conduct Bureau. OSGF reinstates retiree to head Bureau. CCB now has 2 heads. And stories on page 5. And fast food linked to fertility problems in women. Fast food linked to fertility problems in women. The story is on page 10. Of course, one really need to read this. When you visit any fast food, you know what you likely to see. Women and children well, if our food is linked to fertility problems in women, something has to be done about it. Go to page 10 and read up this house story. All right, quickly to the back page of the paper. We meet on marble. I am a firm believer in the person. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts and beer. Abraham Lincoln. Right on page 37, we have this post story. Eguavon, Roy should adopt Mourinho's style in Russia. Roy should adopt Mourinho's style in Russia. Okay, leaving that post story, we go to Fafoyan Ojefo, the guest columnist this morning, writes on Carlos Elomis Sinere Pesine. All right, talking about the former governor of Abia State. He said, a resilient, accessible, competent, unifying, patriotic leader who offers sacrificial and relentless services for the purposes of posterity and for humanity's track records. Okay, these are many more you will see if you go to the back page of the New Telegraph and read up this very story by Fafoyan Ejiofor, the guest columnist. But High Chief this morning, just by the corner, says 7.6 million children are fed daily under federal government school feeding program. Osibanja. He says when you remove hunger from poverty, when you remove hunger from poverty, well, 7.6 million children are fed daily. This is a record. Well, that's it on the New Telegraph this morning. Well, Stella, there's so much to read up, crisis here and there. And when you talk about politics in Nigeria, you can't take it away from crisis, or you can't take crisis away from it. You know, the two are so connected that you sometimes, when you think politics in Nigeria, you think it's about battle, you know, it's war. Whereas politics is actually meant for, you know, governance. Through that means you'll be able to select those you feel that should assist in moving the nation forward. But here, every day you open the pages of the newspaper, all you see, headline, everything is about violence here, there, violence there, every time. As if we can't just put our house in order.
Yeah, actually, it's not as if we can put our hands to order. It just boils down to the politicians who just see the game as a do or die affair. So if they now remove that mindset of trying to get it by all means, I believe the crisis will be reduced to the merest minimum. And of course, talking about the killings, bandits killed 45 in Kaduna State. I think we need to look into the security situation rising. It's just growing speed of insecurity in the country. We really need to do something.
The reason is very simple. We're about, seeing another election period. Of course, these are...
It's not usually the way it is right now, OJ.
The thing is that politicians are so taking it to the extreme. Now, it begins now. The election that will take place in a few months' time begins today. And so most of them have started strategizing. You know, so when it's not going your way, you feel that you have to bring disorder to the society. I've always said it, and I will continue to say it. The perpetrators of this very act take orders from somewhere, and they enjoy the protection of those at the top. And so, when such is the situation, what else do you expect? Who people call the common people, which I refuse to say, is at the mercy of these people, and it seems as if there's nothing we can do about it. Every day, and we have security agencies here and there.
The government needs to start doing something, because when two elephants fight, it's only the grasses that suffer.
I wonder.
To do something. I think really dying, because if all of us are dead, who would they govern?
No, maybe their families. Their families they will govern. All right, that is the much you can take of the papers. Remember, it's just a tip of the iceberg. Hoping that you visit your vendor at the end of this program. You can even send for any of the national dailies who are still watching this program, and then go through the stories we've given to you. Okay, we'll go for a break. When we come back, the program will continue. Still stay with us.
one-stop breakfast show on TV.
For inquiries and booking, contact Address Hotel and Suites at number 18 Opobo Road, Obo Hill, Aba. Telephone 081 000 00895 or 081 000 00896. Address, the pride of hospitality and tourism.
Have you heard of Prescal World and Heaven Options Limited? Prescal is a home of the direct image right here in Abia. Why go to Lagos or Port Harcourt for your direct image jobs? Come to Prescal World and Heaven's Options located at number 145 Azikwe Road, Abia for perfect cover page, journals, magazines, brochures and flyers. We also offer printing services in digital flex and billboard, window graphics, posters, stickers, heat transfers, ID cards, complimentary cards, monogram and car branding. Heaven Options offer you entertainment services like event management, ambulance services with well-dignified undertakers. We can also boast of 3 months ordinary program in computer training, 6 months certificate in computer training, and 1 year advanced certificate in computer training. Why not visit Prescal and experience that quality jobs? For inquiries, call 080 33 22 6115 070 40 24 7196 070 84 69 8165.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCL TV.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
میخوام کنسرتی که برگزار میکنم همینقدر تماشاچی داشته باشه، همینقدر خوشم بکشم. اینم خودمم. عکس یکم کوچیکه.
بابا باز شروع شد. بچه 200 تومن. همین که امروزم بگذره خوش به حال من. تو خودت ناامیدی، میخوای امید بدی به من؟ من فال نمیخوام، میدونم چیه سهم من. تو چی میدونی از سرنوشت من؟ من فردام روشنه، نخون غم من. بچه بکسب خودت، بی خیال من.
من با خواهرم و خواهرزادم زندگی میکنم. کلا 8 تا خواهر برادریم. اینا برادرامن. اولی، دومی، سومی، چهارمی. داداشم 2 تاشون ایرانه. ما هم 2 تا خواهرم و منم ایرانی، بقیه هم افغانستان. فادی هم میره تا لنز دوربین. میره تا لنز دوربین. نگاه کن.
بله همون نشده من از خانم اومد با ساعت 4 من
این هنوز به خدا نرفته.
سریعتر بگو تقدیر کنه. امشب باید تقدیر بشه.
امشب خونه از کجا گیر بیارم؟
خوبی باید خیلی کنه. گیر بیارون چیه؟
سریعتر
ببنداره. باره بره باز بوگی نیاوردم که همه برزه بیرون. حالا بره گفته میشه پیدا کرده مستجره خیلی نکرده.
کی برای گفته میشه خیلی میکنه؟
رونیا.
خب بریم بگردم دنبال خونه دیگه.
نه خواهرم با 100 تومن الان خونه ما نهاریم. میتونی بیشتر بدی؟ حداقل 1 تومن بذاری رو پول. یا اینی که داریم الان 4 تومن 200 تومن داریم.
افغانی هستی؟ کارت داری؟
کارت
یا باید کارت داشته باشی یا یه معرف ایرانی داشته باشی که اون خونه بگیره براش. نمیتونی هیچ.
کنکوری برای ماهانه این بار
نشده سر باز پسر.
خب بهتون گفتم که داری من این خونه میریم.
آره ولی بعد به مشکل میخوره.
برش هم میخواستم الان که دادیم چند روز دیگه اگه که نه یه کاری برام بکنید از کسی جور کنه. 500 تومن میخوام پول پیش این خونه کمه.
باش میگم از سپانسرت.
مثلا اگه بگین کی خبرشو بهم میدین؟
دوشنبه خوبه.
به نظر شما میدن؟
حالا من نهایت سعیم میکنم امیدوار
باش.
متولد چه ماهیم، متولد چه سالیم، به دنیا اومدنی کجام، اهل کجام، اینا همه مهمه دیگه. بعد اون موقع وقتی نقطه شروع معلوم شد اون وقت نقطه پایان میشینیم با هم یه برنامه‌ریزی میکنیم. درسته؟ یا اینجا مدرک شناسایی ندارن. چرا شناسایی نداری؟
ندادن دیگه چیکار کنیم؟
چون مهاجر.
بله چون مهاجریم بهمون ندادن.
خب
من نه تو شناسایی بابام ثبت شدم نه جای دیگه ای.
اینو نصف میکنی؟ یکیش مثلا میشه شناسنامه واقعیتون. درسته؟ یکی میشه اونی که دوست دارین باشین. اسمتون دوست دارین چی باشه؟ فامیلیتون دوست پدرتون چی باشه؟ نه مادرتون چی باشه؟ محل تولدتون کجا باشه؟ قبوله؟
شناسنامه درست
شما مدرک شناسایی اینجا ندارید درسته؟ ولی یه مدرکی مبنی بر این که شما سنی تعیین زاده هستی داری دیگه؟
نه خب گفتن هیچی ندارم.
هیچی؟
نمیتونم حساب شرفخانی هم.
اونجا بود چی برداشت؟ نه رو الان میدم. بچه زیاد وقت نداریم. سونیتا یعنی چی؟
سونیتا یعنی پرستو.
پرستو. چرا جکسون؟
و اونجا دیگه خارجی میشه.
همین؟ خارجی بودن خوبه؟
نه اون پدر مادره چیزی که دوست
مایکل جکسون و ریانا؟
ریحانه فامیلیش چیه خانم؟
نمیدونم. مثلا نمیدونم نه هم نسل هستن یا نه. به هم
حالا اشکال نداره.
اشکال متولد آمریکا هم باشی. آره چرا؟ شاید به خاطر اینکه این اعتبار در تمام نقاط دنیا رو میخوای داشته باشی. اینجا رات نمیدن من. آره فردا بهتری؟ آره من صحبت کردم با برادر بزرگت گفت قول میده که دیگه نذاره اون بزنه. ببخشید الو. بله حالتون خوبه؟ باشه چشم پیغام میدم بهش. خب ببین برادرت قول داده که مراقب باشه دیگه این اتفاق برای تو نیفته. الان دردت کمتر شده یا نه؟ دکتر به دارو هم داد، مسکن هم داد؟ نه؟ خیلی دقیقا دوست داری بگی برای چی این اتفاق افتاد؟ نه؟ هر موقع آماده بودی با هم صحبت.
راست پیشکش تو چقدر بود؟ 10 میلیون.
میگم الان فکر کنم میخواد با اون بکشه بالا یه دختره گرون شده نمیدونم.
یعنی چی گرون شده؟ مگه بگو وسیله است یا چیزی که روش قیمت بذاره؟
همیشه دعا میکنم که قبول نکنه، هر چیزی داری نام ببینم.
اون وقت زنش کجاست؟
افغانستان.
چند سالشه پسره؟ پسر که نیستی که مرده. چند سالشه؟
بکنم 30-35
اوه خدا. دوره صدا میاد، بابا میگه باشه، زن اگه دختر بره پولا جاشه. درو باز کردم دیدم بابا شاده، بعد از یه هم لبخند رو لباشه. تا میخواستم شروع کنم بحثو، بابا گفت اسمش نادره، ول کن درسو. یهو جا خوردم، گفتم چی گفتی بابا؟ میشه توضیح بدی چیه معنی حرفات؟ بابا نشنیده، گرفت درو بس و رفت، منو تنها گذاشت با یه باور سخت. نمیخوام پر اش باش دامن لباسم، میخوام یه بار دیگه بشینه خاک کلاسم، بر تموم وجود و دفتر و کتابم، تو یه بار دیگه حس کنم هدفی دارم. نگاه کن چی بود نظره؟
خیلی قشنگ، احساس میکنم دوست دارم به پدرم بگم.
بچه همون تئاتر شورایی خب به شیوه مجسمه امروز میخوایم اتفاقی که تو ذهنمون مونده از کودکیمون تا حالا، اتفاق تلخ زندگیمون بوده رو به شیوه مجسمه بسازیم اول، خب بعد در مرحله دوم اونجور که دلمون میخواد در واقع حلش بکنیم.
خب چه صحنه‌ای رو میخوای بسازی؟
صحنه‌ای که تو مهاجرت بودیم، بعد طالبا جلومونه گرفتن، خواستیم بیایم ایران.
باید بچه‌ها استفاده کن، بعدش توضیح بده در موردش.
اینجا ماشینیه که توش بودیم، بعد
تو تا خودت کدومی؟
این خودش.
این تو ماشین خودتی؟ اینجایی. خب این که تو ماشینه کیه؟ این برادرته؟ این؟ پدر؟ این موقعی که داشتیم میومدین ایران، درسته؟ حالا دوست داشتی اون موقعی که از افغانستان میای ایران اون اتفاقا رو چجوری شکل میدادی؟ چی بود؟ الان برام بساز، دوست داشتی بهترینش چی باشه؟ خب؟
خیلی در موردش توضیح بدی.
داریم میریم بعد.
تو ماشینی؟ طالبان نیست؟ خب دیگه الان خودت کدومی؟
این منم.
خب
مادرم.
زندهاشم خواهرم هم هست.
خب هادیه بیا الان خودت بشین جای خودت. بشین راحت ساخته بذار روشونه مامانه راحت.
این عکس خانوادگی مونه، حدوداً مال 11 سال پیشه. پدرم فوت کرده، مامانم که افغانستانه.
چند سال مامان تو ندیده؟
الان حدود 7 سال. مامانم نمیدونم خیلی سختی کشیده تو زندگیش. مامانم میگه وقتی که بابات نامزد کرده بودن از بس کوچیک بوده بهش میگفته دایی. خوابم میاد. میشه دوربین رو خاموش کنم رو سریمو در بیام بخوابم؟
خب سعی تو در وقت دوربین هست.
خب برای من خوب نیست که سرم لخت باشه، اونم تو فیلم.
بعد چی اتفاق واسه میفته؟
خب یه بود دیدی خانوادم دید.
بعد میگه چی؟
بعد میگه همه چی. برام بد میشه. خب خاموش میکنم. خب بپرسین چی دیگه.
فکر میکنه اگه آهنگ بخونی خانواده چی میگن؟ خانواده که انقدر نگرانه این چیزا
چی میگه؟
خانواده اگه تو آهنگ بخونی چی میگه؟
خانواده هنوز نظرشون نپرسید. تموم شد. خب الان پس تموم شد.
ندیدی دلش از زخم زبونا پر بود، میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
ندیدی دلش از زخم زبونها پر بود، میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
ندیدی دلش از زخم زبونا پر بود، میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
دستش چرا میگی؟ میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
دستش
دیگه
میون دستش
میون دستش جای قلم آجر بود.
قطع نکن بر نفس گرفتن.
تا نور امید باقی در جاده هست میرم پیاده اومده.
احمد کارگر ساختمونه. ما میخوایم با هم یک گروه موسیقی تشکیل بدیم. اون پولاشو جمع میکنه که مخارج ضبط آهنگامونو بده.
کودکی که هیچ وقت انبازی نداشت، جز رفتن به مدرسه ها رسویی نداشت.
رپ؟
بله.
مجوز دارید دیگه؟
مجوز؟
نه
مجوز ندارید؟ یکم سخت شد. بعد شما میخوای بخونی یا با همید؟
با همین دوتایی میخوایم بخونیم.
دوتایی؟ صدایی دختر. تکخونی هم دارید؟
بله.
تکخونی دارید؟ مجوز هم که ندارید. تکخونی شما حتما شمایی؟
بله.
خب اینجا مشکله که ببین خیلی دوست دارم بهتون کمک کنم ولی چند وقت پیش یکی از بچه‌ها همین کارو کرد. اونا هم مجوز نداشتن. یه دردسرایی کشید که نمیارزه به دردسرش. میدونید چی میگم؟ و اینا خیلی دوست داشتم کمکتون کنم.
باشه میتونم براتون جمع کنم ولی مشکل هزینه که ندارید.
خب اومدیم هم صحبتمون رو بکنم. ترک رو خب چقدر میگیری؟
گفتین یه ترکه؟
یه دونه از فعلا. بله.
یه ترک رو براتون 3 میلیون تومان تمام میشه.
یه سالن موسیقی، سازهای مختلف، پیانو، گیتار، ویولون. اینجا خونه‌مه. میخوام یه خونه اینجوری داشته باشم، بعد پارک اینجوری نزدیکش باشه. اینم ماشینمه سوناتا. چیه؟
محمد.
چند ساله؟
تقریبا 18.
خیلی خوبه.
همسن سال هم خیلی خوبه.
چون این شهر خوده چه سیو خورده
تازه از این بطریتون سالم که داشت دیگه بچه
خیلی راضی و زندگی خیلی خوب میشه. از تو پرسیدن نظر تو خواستم.
کتک راضی شدی یا خدایی راضی بودی؟
اول کتک خوردم.
پس حال موقعی بپریده رضیه. درسته؟ مثل فرزانه که همه شروع نمیزدم آخر تو چه خبر اصلا از مرده؟
برم همون جوریه.
یعنی حالا گفته تو رو طلاق میده ولی پولی که گرفتی باید پس بدی.
باید خود خورزو پس بگیرم.
خب به نظر تو کی عروسیتونه؟ اصلا چقدر بگیریفتن؟
پول 40 دختر 12 10 اینا میخوام بگیرم.
چند؟
یا 10 یا
10 میلیون یا 40 میلیون. چرا 10 میلیون 40 میلیون؟ البته 30 میلیون تخفیف میدم.
تا حالا عاشق شدی؟
نه.
تو یه دختر 18-19 ساله‌ای و هیچی از عشق نمیدونی. میترسی حرف بزنی؟
نه ترسیدن نیست. خب نشدم.
یا اینکه میترسی خانوادت ببیننه یا ببینن و عصبانی بشن.
خب بیخیه. من میخوام دوربینتون رو بگیرم. من از شما چند تا سوال بکنم.
تو بلدی با دوربین کار کنی؟
آره خودم دوربین داشت.
چی شد؟
فروختم.
خب بگیر ولی مواظب باش.
کجایی؟ آها. خب چه اینجوری میشه؟
اون چیزه مال فوکوس مال اون جلویه. اون جلویه رو
نه یه بار رفت قطع شده بارم. اینو چیه؟ اینا چیه خانم؟ اون جلویه رو میچرخه.
اون یکی مال به قول خودت زومه.
خب آها. بعد با این دوربینا میشه کلیپ ساخت؟
بجزت.
خب من کی بیام دنبالش؟
وقت یاد گرفتی که با
من الان یاد گرفتم دیگه.
دوباره دیگه چیز دیگه همین بلد باشه کلیپ میسازی. یعنی آرزومه که منم مثل یاس یه روزی بتونم رپر بشم، حرفای دلم رو به بقیه بگم، صدامو خیلی جا بشنوه. قبلا هم شعر می نوشتم ولی پاپ بود. بعد متوجه شدم که با پاپ نمیتونم زیاد حرفامو به بقیه بفهمونم. تصمیم گرفتم رپ بنویسم و بخونم. آقا فال دارم بخفال از من، تو چی میدونی آخه از سرنوشت من؟ آقا فال دارم بخفال از من فردام روشنه نخو غم من. آقا فال دارم بخفال از من و چه بچسب خودت بی خیال من.
خوب بود ولی فقط خوب بود، یعنی هیت نبود. میدونی یعنی چیزی نبود منو میخوب کنه. این چیزی که تو برای من تعریف کردی من هیچ چیزی تو این ندیدم.
بیا اینم فیلم بگیرید.
نگاه کن چیکار کردم. همه چی رو داشتم به هم ریخت. دیروز با هم بحثمون شد. هرچی عکس بود زد پاره کرد کتابمو. عکسای یاسا.
سر چی دعواتون شد؟ نمیگی سر چی دعواتون شد؟
دیروز داداشم گفتش که وسایلاتون رو جمع کنیم بعد برین افغانستان. فهمیدم که اینا با عصبانیت میخوام منو بفرستن که اونجا شوهر کنم. چرا عجله داره؟
عجله داره که زودتر بریم جروز چی بیشتر شده داریم مثلا عروضی خوب کنه زن خبر داره بیاد عجله اذیت
بدبخته بیچاره.
این خود تو بسته
ناصر هم میته گفت
ناصر که اصلا خود نهاد دوستی نکرد خوشمان نکرد
این زنگ بزنه بره مکه. تو 8 سال اونجا چیکار شدی؟ یکی از اون بر زنگ بزنه یکی ابو. مثلا من با هم شروع کنم یعنی بهترین شغل انتخاب کردم. یعنی میگن زن شروع کنه شغل خوب انتخاب کرد.
من اینا رزی میکنه منو میکنه.
سلام شهر خوبه؟ زنده باشم. نه چی میگه زاهر؟ خب کی میای؟ نه خب تو پاسپورت خب بگی بیا با هرچه شد میبرتون بدون. فقط زود بیا خاطر باز ماستون. ببینید زاهر چی میگه لاف بزنه.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Alright, so good to welcome you back to your one-stop breakfast program on MCL TV. Good morning, Abia. Alright, it's welcoming you to our discussion segment as well. This morning we're going to be centering on something that is quite different from what we've been doing in these past weeks. It's been politics, violence, insecurity and all the rest of them for quite some time now. And the more we look at our society, it seems as if we don't have other challenges apart from political challenges. But if you look inward seriously, you notice that we have other things that is really eating up the fabrics of the society. And this morning we're going to focus on one of them. One that have really become today a norm. One that everywhere you go is what is being practiced. Unconsciously too. Now, most parents do not even know that they are also part of these very practice. Most people do not know that they become part of it one way or the other. And people are already associating with this practice without also knowing it. On daily basis we see it, we partake. Most times we do not even know that we are partaking in this very thing, but we also keep encouraging it. That is the most worrying aspect of it. Being part of a thing we do not know that is being practiced. But one way or the other, like I said before, we are part of that. We're going to be looking at drug abuse, especially among the youths. So today we are looking at youth and drug abuse. Now, do you know the level of drug abuse in the society? Have you also noticed that it has become a common thing wherever you go, even youths at the age of 14, 15, 16 taking hard drugs? Now, that is what is really confronting the society, like the political challenges we are also having in the nation. Well, a nation cannot be stable when that nation cannot also control what comes of that becomes of the nation tomorrow. And the tomorrow we're talking about is the youths of today. And so in the studio this morning with me to take a look at this issue. The last time she was here, she said a whole lot about this war against drug abuse, especially among the youth. And today she's going to also add more as every day we keep having improvement. Reverend Altia Muele, you're welcome to the program now.
Thank you.
So good to have you with us. Also joining us to look at this situation as we have it in our society today is the popular voice now, a regular face, one that when it comes to society and analysis, you will always have him with us, Comrade Uche Emeko. So good to have you also, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So
good morning, Adams.
Welcome all. Now let's look at drug abuse. This is something that on daily basis is on the increase. Let me begin with you, Atia. The last time you came, you took time to tell us how you went into the society and saw this, and it became a problem that made you to begin to think how to, curtail this.
Yes.
Now, what do you think is the reason for you to going into drugs to the point of, abuse?
That's an excellent question. I believe that what is happening is experimentation. It is, they see something on TV, they see American movies, they want to try something. Also, it's peer pressure. Their friends are doing it. Every addict I've met, they've always said, the reason I got into it is because of a friend introduced me to this habit. Every one of them, 100%. And so the pressure to conform to a group, a bad group of friends, a group that has become bad with this use, these are the two major reasons.
All right, now, bad influence.
Yes.
Talk about peer groups. Does pressure have anything to do with that? Pressure.
Absolutely. It is about stress, and one of the attractive lies of using drugs is that you will calm your mind, it will calm your nerves, it will solve your problems. And it's a lie, because the temporary feeling of ecstasy is then replaced by brain damage, drug overdose, addiction, and sometimes death.
All right, now, Emeko, look at drug addiction. From the 80s, it wasn't as rampant as we have it today. Because I still remember how it was in the 80s. You can't come out in the open to have this. Sometimes you even look at it as a challenge for any person that is seen, with that. You're looked at somehow. But today, it's like a normal thing. You go to any school, an open field. Some people drink it, smoke it openly. And now, how did we get to this point?
Yeah, actually, in the 80s, even in the 70s, in fact, immediately after the Civil War, there was increase in drug abuse. And what caused this? It was as a result of the war, the breakdown of law and order. I mean, you find out that our societal value, descended to the lowest of abyss. And I want to tell you, actually, I was one of those who did drug as early as 15 years old. And I got into it unconsciously. Yes. I think it was the right thing to do. I think it was it. I wanted self-expression, maybe because of my peculiar background. When I was 15, yes, I was introduced to drug by some of my friends. And how did it happen? They were taking it and they were talking about the boldness, they got as a result of that. They could stand before any person and say anything, and they could also fight. I mean, that is a misnomer, it's a mistake. You don't have extra power taking drug. You are just who you are. The only thing that goes with it is that you will get yourself in a bigger problem. When I was also in the secondary school, I think
you said you thought self-expression,
Yes.
confidence,
Yes.
boldness. Is that not delusion?
Yeah, that is what it is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, when you get this, because you've not taken it, like the marijuana, marijuana, or whatever name they call it. You see, there was this, stiffer penalty at that time. So it was taken underground. And when you get to the wrong, persons without knowing it, they will indoctrinate you. And apart from this marijuana, you also have this Nescafe. In those days, we wrap it, also smoke it. That it makes you hip, it makes you become who you are not. Then we have this drug as well, phosphorine. It was common then, you were asked to take it, and that when you want to read, it gives you, the latitude to read. If you want to eat, you eat very well. You want to sleep, you sleep very well. Whatever you want to do. In fact, by the time I was taking school sat, I was taking phosphorine. It's a banned drug, as a matter of fact. Then you have tramadol.
No, we come to types of drugs. No, we come to drugs, all the substances that are used, to this very point of abuse. He did say something, more like saying, "I'm a practical example." Okay, he has brought himself out as a practical example. At the age of 15, he started taking that. Now, so these days we still see people at the age of 15, 14, 16, 17. In fact, by the time you see them at 20, they're already experts. Now, what could break somebody at that age to think of going into drugs, apart from peer groups? Now, pressures of life. What really motivates somebody at that such tender age?
Yes. Now, that's an excellent question. And they have found, studies have shown that many people that start to abuse drugs, it's one thing to experiment. And some people experiment and they don't get out of it. It's a trap. Others are very fortunate, like our comrade here, that manage to, get themselves and move on with life. But many of them, brain damage, different things happen to them. So some people get psychotic, they lose their minds. And a lot of the mad people you see on the road, many of them were hemp smokers. They were using these drugs heavily and they lost their mind. Now, they found that people who are traumatized, people who have gone through very bad experiences as children, tend to want to, what they call, self-medicate. So they don't see a doctor, they don't talk to anybody, so they're trying to cope up inside their mind with something horrible that must have happened to them as children. And so that's why many people at a tender age get involved in this type of lifestyle.
Depression.
Pressure.
And depression. Now, when we try to establish, what we're simply doing here is, first of all, establish reasons one could go into drugs, then the abuse. Of course, you know very well that most of these things, once you start doing it, going back becomes a problem. Coming out of it becomes a problem. When we talk about pressures of life, what sort of pressure is a young person seeing at the age of 15? Now, can you also tell us the kind of pressure, apart from peer groups, to belong, you want to show, you want to be among those that will be counted in that group, that circle of friends out there? What sort of pressure could make a young lad go into drugs?
Yeah, one of the pressures will be poverty. One will be illiteracy, prevalent illiteracy in the family. I lost my father at the age of 5, and my mother was very sick, was very down. So she couldn't even take care of herself because we didn't have that money she didn't have that money to take care of herself. And it's only by the grace of one missionary from Scotland, I've forgotten her name now, who took care of this woman. And so she didn't have that strength to oversee my activity. Because at that time, I think I had a little sister as well, who was also very sick. My mother was hospitalized for more than 1 year in the hospital at joint hospital as it used to be called then. So you find out that poverty is one of the causative factors, because parents have lost, they have lost the drive to bring their children to where it is, because you are battling with poverty. You're also battling with trying to give your child a good direction. And when you mix this with illiteracy, you find out that you have a disaster in your hand. And with your father not there, and you're a man, you tend to be very heady. You now move out. I'm coming.
Yeah, right.
Just get my.
I'm getting the family. You're looking at family pressure.
Good. The family is there. The poverty is there. Illiteracy is there, and then lack of parental care as a result of these other things. Because if you're letter and if you have some money and you know the job that you have come to do, knowing fully well that your family is the first assignment that God has given you here on earth, you will know how to get into this. And because you're a man, your mother is a woman. And there are stories around women not being able to take care of.
Let's get this in straight. Family pressure. Yes. And now, he has attributed family pressure to be a reason a young lad will go into this. Now, when you talk about family pressure, he brought in poverty, illiteracy. Yes, illiteracy. I will keep illiteracy on one part. Yeah. Lack of parental care goes with poverty, because when you don't have it, you're not going to give it up. Does it then mean that parents put the pressure on their children, to go into drug abuse?
Well, the thing is that drug abuse and addiction that will not discriminate, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're from a good family or a poor family. But he said a very excellent point, and that is neglect. You have to watch over your children. You have to ask them questions. You have to know their friends. You have to really be involved in their lives. Even quite wealthy people, their children get lost in drug use quite prominently. And you find that sometimes even rich children get into more trouble than poor children. And that's because they have access to money, they have access to independence, and a little bit of neglect, because the parents think they've got enough people handling the children, the drivers there, the housemaids, and so on. And these will never take the place of a mother and a father. Never.
In other words, the important thing there is neglect. Families neglect the children. And when we talk about parents, neglect children, and so when they get into that, nobody is around to tell them is a wrong thing.
Correct.
Now let's look at the society, the larger society. Family is the first society you meet when you come in, into this very world. Now the larger society, what role has the larger society played in evangelizing drug?
That's a good question. And one thing is, and people don't really see this, but often cigarettes and alcohol are gateway drugs. They will introduce children to heavier use, illegal use. Not necessarily everybody, but for some people it becomes a stepping stone down a slippery path. And so they begin with something that is maybe societally accepted. In some circles, cigarette smoking isn't seen as bad. Taking a beer is not seen as bad. It's bad if they're young and they start drinking early in life. And then from drinking, they want to find one other thing or another thing to use. So the society does have a responsibility, if they're under 18 years old, not to use, not to touch these things, because they cannot use them responsibly. They cannot use these things in a responsible manner. And so that is why it's necessary for everybody to be involved in raising our children. It takes a village, they say, to raise a child.
All right, now it takes a village to raise a child, and you know very well that when you raise a child, you've raised a family, and when you raise a family, you've raised a society. We'll go for a break. When we come back, the phone will now be open so that you can join us in this discussion. Don't go away.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Chukwu na-enye ka nri onye ọbụla. Chukwu na-enye ka nri onye ọbụla. Ọ na-enye ka ndị ọrụ bekee na-eri ikpege n'ọnwa n'ọnwa. Ọ na-enye o, ọ na-enye o, ọ na-enye o. Hello, my name is Buchi. Keep watching MCL TV and don't go away. Aye, God has given you victory. Aye, He has given you victory. Aye, God has given you victory. Aye, He has given you victory. What's up, people? It's your boy E-Ben, ministering to God's children, and you're watching MCL TV. Don't touch that dial. Peace. I love you.
MCL, the word in your home.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
You're welcome back. It's the discussion segment of the one-stop breakfast program in MCL TV. Good morning, Abia. The youths and drug abuse is what we're discussing this morning. Of course, before we went on that very break, we have been able to establish that it takes a village to raise a kid. All right, now, so we all know that the family is the first port of call of every child, because that's the first society a child sees, and then from there to the larger one. We've also established that the societies, in a way, have encouraged the growth of drug abuse. And when you look at it, most people do not even know that they are assisting. Parents do not know somehow that they aid their children in doing all these things. How? When you don't care. Now, Uchemeku and Reverend Atia have established that neglect is one major fact when it comes to the drug abuse by children. As a parent watching this very program, how many times have you taken time to know the company your children keep? How many times have you done a surprise on them? How many times have you taken a stroll to their school unannounced? How many times have you also tried to, go through the phone your child uses? These are facts that plays out in bringing up a child. It's not just about the money you give to the child, food, and all the, it's like how many times but it's also possible that children take money from parents and still use it to smoke or use it to drink. Now, Emeku, let's look at the society, their part, the politicians, the political class, the talks they use, everything around them. When you talk about boosting somebody's ego, you see, this is where it becomes very handy. You want to take something to be able to do some acts. Have we not commercialized it at that point? Is it not going to have multiple effect on the society, family, church, and just line it up like that?
Yeah, actually, the society, when you look at also the government angle, you see that the society has encouraged the massive use of drug illicitly. They have cheered people who they know use drug to commit crime instead of cautioning them. I know that in those days, that when your behavior is antisocial, that your people around will caution you. Everyone will want to keep away from you. They don't want to come to you. Because one of the things you see those who use drug do is also to pickpockets, to steal, also to go into armed robbery. And then when you look at these talks or the men that the politicians use, when you test them, you will find out that there is hardly anyone amongst them challenge the government of this state or of this country to bring out those that go with them if they don't have overdose of drug in their system. And then when these people go out, you see, our children, or we rather copy bad things than good things. Always, even when you look at, from the point of view of the Bible, you find out that evil is always ahead of the good. Cain, first of all, started with evil by killing Abel. And before you know it, evil was abroad. And so, you find out that these politicians and their men, they use this thing. And when children look at them, drive their SUVs and they behave here. I mean, there is a way they behave, this air they carry, and of course, you know that these ones, even in schools, I mean, I know good persons.
When they want to copy them.
Good, they copy them.
And they feel it.
And when they feel that is the right thing to do, because nobody cautions them. And you are part of the law. You are employed to keep the law, I mean, to work in the temple of justice, and you are busy destroying what you are creating. Then who do you want to obey that law? And then again, let me tell you, let me bring an important part that has just come to me. Sorry, it is like my person is being discussed, and I love it because it goes to tell other people what is the. When I was in the bank, I was transferred to Ibadan, and I lived in a custom quarters where they call it Jokodo. There, the custom men encouraged me. They brought this drug, and I did smoke, and you have all type of distance. There, nobody checks them. That is why I have made it. So this is the societal influence. They encourage you. And when a law, I mean the man that is supposed to keep the law, to bring people to justice, encourages breaking the law, what do you think the lesser brothers will do?
Atia,
yes.
Let's look at effect of drugs. Now, you said in your earlier analysis that it starts small.
Yes.
And when we talk about starting small, it starts with codeine, tramadol,
right.
Just name them. There's little drugs.
Correct.
It begins with that. It opens up.
And well, what happens is that drug addiction starts. It has 5 stages. First is just the societal, just recreational use. Use it with your friends. They introduce you. Then it gets to be where you go to the next stage where you're starting to use it regularly. Every time you're at a party, a club, you take a tablet here, you take a smoke here, this and that, and then you shifted to a different kind of use when you start hiding, you start stealing, you start using drugs alone. Now this is a sign that they're shifting to addiction. That addiction is not just regular use but dependency. So then it starts having consequences, bad consequences. They get blacked out, they're falling down, they mess up, and people are seeing that something's very, very wrong with the person. But also, I think this is very important just to bring a point that our comrade had mentioned about our society. Shows like this is very important because I think that even people who use these drugs don't understand the terrible consequences that they're bringing on themselves and the society with their use. So we need more information sessions like this. So I celebrate you in putting on a show like this where we can actually discuss this subject. It's very important. Thank you.
So let me, just to add up to what she had said. About a week ago, somebody knocked on my door and I opened. This man told me that his wife just gave birth to twins, 2 boys, and that he needs money to buy some syrups that the doctors said that these kids has jaundice. I said, oh, sorry, I don't have money. Can you just list the drugs? Let me call my physician to get you the drugs. Just tell me the. Say, no, I just want it now. And he left. I've had 2 visitations like that. That tells you, because one of the things that happens there is that it introduces a man to the level of begging. And when he graduates from begging, he goes into stealing. He goes into trying to get that money by all means. There are people from
the moment you are addicted, you can do anything to.
You have people from the surrounding villages around Abia here who move all the way to Waterside to get drugs and go back. And you know how you know some of them? The rents will come. Then immediately they take this drug. They won't want rain to touch them because there is this myth that if rain beats you, that the effect of the drug will go away. So they want to carry the thing down and then begin to behave like hippies.
So sad. Well, viewers, you can be part of this program. The number is there on your screen. Call, ask your question or make your contributions. We are discussing the youth and drug abuse. We have them with us every day. Now, I am one that is always on the move. I visit places. As a sports person too, I visit a whole lot of open spaces. Now, you go there to do sports and all the rest of them. But what you see most times is beyond sports. kids at the age of, some below 15 taking drugs. And I've asked myself this question: why is the government keeping quiet? And we have laws against this.
Absolutely.
So much laws against it, but it's not being effective.
Now, I think this is to the point that we need someone with a moral authority, that you have to actually enforce the laws. It's one thing to have a law written on paper, but it's a completely different subject to enforce the laws. And for that to happen, there have to be policies implemented. There has to be a motivation to actually put money where their mouth is. The politicians have to actually begin to invest and bring alongside people who are committed to seeing the change.
All right, let's begin to take the calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. My name is Cecilia. I'm calling from Abia Road.
All right, you're welcome to the program, Cecilia. So good to hear your voice. Go ahead.
Thank you. What I've noticed is that there's no law in this country. Because right from the beginning, if there's a law saying that do not do this, you have 2 years. You do this, you have 3 years. You steal, you have 4 years. You take jobs, you have 20 years. Stuff like that. Just like other civilized countries do. If there's an implementation of our law in this country, the people who are supplying this job are the politicians. Because they want to use them as tax. They know they are useless, so they use it to go and do elections. That's why they supply drugs and money to them and go. You understand? Our government is not doing anything about anything in this country. They need everybody to live any way they like. Because if there's a law in this country, you know if you take a drug, you understand? You sentence them 5 years, they will go there and rest, their brain come down. They will not do this again. You go and commit this kind of money they are stealing. You go 20 years, their brain will come down, they will not steal again. You understand? So they're just like, it's a summon of the money. Everybody do anything in life, they don't give it back.
All right, thank you very much, Cecilia. We're talking about implementation of the laws. We have laws in this nation. It's implementation that is the problem, just like you were saying, the will to implement these laws is what's been lacking. But the laws are there. Emeka, the laws are there, is it?
Yeah, the laws are there. After all, in those days, in the 70s, I know that if you're caught with Indian hemp, you either spend life jail or you're shot. Remember that in 1985, that our present president did order for the execution of 3 students who were caught with hard drugs. But then, now you cannot get such a thing. And even when you try to apprehend somebody, or when you apprehend somebody and send him to the police, one politician will make a call, and that will, you will be in trouble for even trying to report. When there is the law hasn't changed. I am not aware that the law has been relaxed, or that now we can use Indian hemp or cocaine as the case may be. But how many persons do you hear, go in for some of these things? The only persons that go in there are the wretched of the earth.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning and welcome to the program. Turn down the volume on your TV set. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. My name is Joe. I'm calling from Abia.
All right, you're welcome. Go ahead.
The issue is very, very precise and important. And you see the problem is that we don't have law. But the implementation is the problem. Now, could you imagine? I witnessed it myself along several of years. And I'm not this. It's requesting for what's called marijuana from a driver. Could you imagine that kind of bike? I think the driver to please get to that stuff. So the way he said it, there was a doctor she used, that I understood it. And immediately the driver was calling somebody, please can you get me this kind of thing for 100 naira or 200?
very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Talking about those you assume to be the law officers, also perpetrating the same act is dangerous. Now, let me come down to this aspect of it. We don't just have time. We have barely 2 minutes.
Okay.
Effect of it, the society. We have miscreants on the street. I know you have a foundation that is caters for the drug addicts.
Yes.
Now, the last time you came here, you said something. Now, what input have you people also made into this, to also checkmating it and taking care of those?
Well, actually, a couple of things. One, we've implemented a training program to train addiction counselors to really understand how their brain is working and to help them get free of this addiction and to completely abstain from this type of lifestyle. And the second thing is we're working in partnership with NDLEA and working with the addicts that are actually in rehabilitation on the grounds of NDLEA. So we've been partnering with them to work hand in hand with the agency to deal with these people so that they leave that lifestyle behind.
All right, now, Emeku, taking a message to them directly is what matters here.
Yes.
Now, and when you talk about where they are, most times you don't find them in the open. And
no, they are found in the open. The government encourages them.
No, what I mean in the open, you can't just come to the studio here and see them.
Yeah.
Now, you see them, those areas, like when we talk about, used to be York, but this time around is Ebelogu, around the waterside. Like you said, people trek distance to go there and get this drug. Government taking this message to them and closing up all these areas they know very well and try to turn something out. How can the government discourage this and make them meaningful? Just in 1 minute.
Yes, our government is insensitive to the needs of the society. They are insensitive to the high rate of crime in the society. When you go to watch matches, like we'll make this thing, when you go, you see that there is a stand for drug users and drug sellers.
It's called a special stand.
Good, it's a special stand, and you know the name. And when the government goes there and then begin to give them money, there is no amount of rehabilitation that you will do that will turn them off, because when the government is gradually brooding criminals, thoughts that they will use, I mean, no government will have the courage. But you see, one thing that gladdens my heart is that we all have to make account before our Creator, because we must go on one day. Our government isn't doing anything. I thank Reverend and our foundation for what they're doing, but I know that God will see them through. But the major people that is working against these foundations are the government.
All right, now, finally, your word, man, how we can take care of these and ensure that our society is better. What do you expect from the government, from the society, and from families towards discouraging youth and drug abuse?
Well, in a word, there is hope. Where there's life, there's hope, and there's determination. One person with a mind to change this society can do it. And I know that we're more than one. We have a vision for the youth, because if we lose the youth, we're losing the next generation. We can't lose this war.
Okay, now just for time, next time I'm going to bring you back here. Let's talk about those things that ought to be done, and let's start it from the foundation. Just for time, we would have gone into that, but we're going to make our time again to bring you back on this very program. And let's look at those areas that government should come in and what the society and family should also do to make sure we change it. Just for final word.
Yes, government should change their approach. These are God's children. These are their own children. They are not safe when these addicts turn to higher criminals. So let them do something. Partner with the foundations that is very relevant. Look at the things they have on the ground and help. And then discourage the use of drugs. Like I said earlier, sometime in this program, offer scholarships to some of these children. It is not good. The other day I went to the park. A little boy of about, that boy should be about 5 years or 6 years. You know, he came out with the mother to sell food. And some of these people that buys, they order and then the boy will go inside. Do you know what they tell them inside there? These are the recruitment point. These are the major vulnerable groups. Because when you don't get that child at that time, you lost him. And I wasn't very happy. Let the government do the needful let them invest in our health care so that people cannot just go to the chemist and buy drugs. Let them offer scholarships to our children.
Thank you very much. Our last call for this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome to the program.
I'm calling from
All right, you're welcome to the program. Very fast.
Thank you. The brother, this something I think the family should start from, should be held responsible at the very beginning. I think the foundation of the family is possible that the children will be good. If our parents will be taking care of their children, will be watchful about their children, inculcate the fear of God in Christ's death, it will really help a lot. The fear of God matters. Anybody who doesn't have the fear of God, he goes anyhow. That is my little contribution.
Thank you very much. The fear of God would also assist us in getting out of this situation. Parents should, do what is right. Thank you, Comrade Uchemeku, for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Reverend Arti Amwele. You're doing a wonderful work. We will continue to encourage you from this platform. We're going to bring you back here one of these days. Let's also look at this holistically and then be able to proffer solutions as well. As we continue to discuss it, I'm sure government will rise up to this very challenge. All right, thank you, Abia, for also calling in. Apologies to all those of you who I couldn't take your calls. We'll do that again tomorrow. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for sports with Jonah Hodge. Still stay with us.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Good morning and welcome to the sports segment of our program this morning. My name is Jonah Oji, and I know that you really enjoyed your weekend because there were so many sporting activities lined up only for your own viewing pleasure, and I hope that you stayed out of trouble as you supported various clubs of yours at the weekend. Alright, let us now start from our home front. We want to start with our own Enyimba, who has proven to be the only representative that Nigeria has in the CAF Confederation. We are talking about CAF Confederation Cup right now. Just at the weekend, Enyimba defeated Joniba FC of Mali by 2-0 to start the group phase of the Confederations Cup on a solid footing. Goals from Ishaka, Olatu, Toye and Dimba handed Enyimba the win in the Group C opener played at the UJ Swene Stadium in Calabar. Enyimba got off to an encouraging start and could have gone ahead after 7 minutes when Joseph did well to cut inside before firing inches wide of the upright. The People's Elephant continued to dominate and went even closer in the 29th minute when Ibrahim Mustafara took the crossbar from the edge of the area. Freedom was a major threat for Enyimba down the left flank, and the striker was at the heart of the whole attacks in the opening 45 minutes. Joliba, meanwhile, was quite content to sit back and let the home side have the ball with the hope of catching them on counter, while they also failed to test Abdul Dawuda throughout the opening stanza. Paul Aibogun's side broke the deadlock on the 48th minute as Olati Toye did well to create space for himself before unleashing a sublime effort from 20 years out. So we say congratulations to Enyimba, and we hope that they will consolidate the feat which they recorded against their Malian counterpart. We do not want them at this point to relax, to go back to their earths and make sure, want them to make sure that they defeat other opponents and qualify to the next round of the ongoing CAF Confederations Cup, and they know that all eyes are on them for them to finish good this season in the CAF competition. Alright, let us now go back to the Nigeria Professional Football League that really took place at the weekend, where different clubs engaged each other to make sure that they grab their 3 maximum points that will help them keep their hopes of winning the league alive. In Nasarawa United defeated the Academy Warriors by 2-0. Heartland FC, that is being threatened by relegation, there in Owerri, played poorly as they had to settle for a 1-1 draw with former champions Kano Pillars. Wiki Tuari settled for a 1-1 draw also with Rangers Football Club of Enugu. Mountain of Fire Ministries FC, we are 3 goals better than Niger Tornadoes. Kwara United defeated Yobe Stars 2-1. Lobi Stars salvaged 3 maximum points as they defeated Sunshine Stars by 1-0. Ifani Oba FC ran away with a 2-1 victory over Goran FC. Cardinal United defeated Plateau United 1-0. While there in Port Harcourt, it was a bad day for Rivers United. They played out a barren draw with Abia Warriors. Our own Abia Warriors, we say congratulations to your people for grinding out a 1 point there in Port Harcourt. Alright, let us now take a flight and go to England, where it happened at the weekend, where Stoke City has been relegated as they at home lost 1-2 to Crystal Palace. Bournemouth defeated Swansea by 1-0. Leicester City, it was also a bad day for them as they continued their poor run in the English Premier League as they lost 0-2 to West Brom there at the King Power Stadium. Watford defeated Newcastle United by 2-1. West Brom defeated Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0 to see how whether it will be possible for them to escape relegation this season. Everton drew 1-1 with Southampton. Manchester City fired blank as they drew 0-0 with Huddersfield. Arsenal routed Burnley by 5-0. While at Stamford Bridge, it was Chelsea that laughed last as they defeated Liverpool by 1-0. And Oliver Giroud made sure that he scored to make sure that Chelsea keep their hopes of qualifying for next season's UEFA Champions League alive. Alright, let us now go over to the home of Tiki Taka. You can call it also Spanish La Liga or Spanish Santander, where Girona at home lost 1-4 to Eibar. Athletic Bilbao defeated Real Betis by 2-0. Celta Vigo at home drew 1-1 with Deportivo La Corona. Villarreal, the Yellow Submarines, defeated Valencia by 1-0. Malaga at home lost 0-3 to Alaves. Atletico Madrid, we are surprised by Espanyol as they succumbed to a 0-2 defeat. Las Palmas also lost 0-1 to Getafe. In that Clásico between Barcelona and Real Madrid, it was a 2-2 draw. Alright, This is how it happened in the Spanish La Liga. This is where we call it quits on this segment. We'll come your way tomorrow to bring you up to date about all that is working in the world of sports. But for now, I want to hand you over to Anjovan.
All right, thank you very much, Jenna, for that sports update. As usual, I want to say a million thanks to you, our viewers out there. Thanks for being part of the Monday edition of this program. We'll come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. On Asala Chumavia will come up right after now. Bye-bye.
MCL, the world in your home.